Salam sejahtera, anda bersama saya Rizal Zulkafli. Ini Niaga AWANI. Kita mulakan dengan perkembangan berkaitan dengan sektor pelancongan dalam negara. Seperti yang kita ketahui, sektor pelancongan adalah antara yang sangat terkesan di tengah penularan COVID-19 di dalam dan juga luar negara. Menurut Perdana Menteri Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, anggaran kerugian sektor pelancongan daripada Januari hingga Februari adalah sebanyak 3.37 bilion ringgit. Ini adalah susulan pakej pelancongan yang dibatalkan dan kesan kepada rantaian sektor tersebut, termasuk pekerja dan juga perhotelan. Dalam pakej rangsangan yang diumumkan pada Februari, antara perincian termasuk penundaan ansuran bulanan cukai pendapatan bagi perniagaan terjejas dalam sektor pelancongan. Syarikat terjejas juga dibenarkan menyemak semula anggaran keuntungan untuk tahun 2020. Diskaun sementara selama 6 bulan sebanyak 15% daripada bil elektrik secara bulanan bagi hotel, agensi pelancongan, syarikat penerbangan, pusat membeli belah, pusat konvensyen dan pameran, pengecualian levy tabung pembangunan sumber manusia bagi hotel dan syarikat pelancongan, pengecualian cukai pendapatan bagi hotel, kemudahan jaminan bantuan istimewa berjumlah 2 bilion ringgit oleh Bank Negara Malaysia, peruntukan 200 juta ringgit kemudahan kredit mikro pada kadar 4.0% oleh Bank Simpanan Nasional. Dalam masa yang sama, proses kelulusan dana sedia ada di Bank Pembangunan Malaysia berhad di bawah tabung infrastruktur pelancongan berjumlah 1.5 bilion ringgit juga dipercepatkan. Industri perhotelan dan juga pusat membeli belah digalakkan juga menawarkan diskaun dan mengurangkan kadar sewa premis. Bayaran sekali sebanyak RM600 kepada pemandu teksi, pemandu bas persiaran dan pemandu pelancong dan penarik beca yang berdaftar. Dalam masa yang sama, geran padanan RM100 juta juga disediakan kepada pembangunan sumber manusia berhad HRDF untuk membiayai tambahan 40,000 pekerja sektor pelancongan dan juga sektor lain yang terjejas. Dalam masa yang sama, kerajaan juga mengumumkan pelepasan cukai individu sehingga RM1,000 untuk perbelanjaan pelancongan domestik. Rakyat Malaysia juga diberikan voucher digital bagi pelancongan domestik sehingga RM100 seorang untuk penerbangan domestik, kereta api dan juga pengitapan. Sementara itu, rakyat Malaysia juga diberi voucher digital bagi pelancongan domestik sehingga RM100 seorang untuk penerbangan domestik, kereta api dan penginapan di hotel berlesen. Kerajaan turut mengumumkan geran padanan untuk mempromosi pelancongan dengan peruntukan RM500 juta. Dalam masa yang sama, kerajaan turut melonggarkan arahan untuk mengehadkan penggunaan hotel oleh agensi kerajaan. Dan pada pertengahan Mac, Menteri Pelancongan Seni dan juga Budaya telah membatalkan kempen Tahun Melaut Malaysia 2020 di tengah penularan COVID-19 menurut laporan majalah Forbes pada Februari yang memetik Moody's Analytics, kuarantin dan juga larangan pengembaraan akan mengakibatkan kerugian $200 bilion atau 0.3% KDNK dunia. Untuk membincangkan berkenaan dengan sektor pelancongan di Malaysia dan juga bagaimanakah pemain dalam sektor pelancongan serta pemilik dan juga operator hotel terkesan dengan sektor ataupun penularan COVID-19 ini, kita bersama dengan pengasas dan juga Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Hospitality Asia Platinum Awards Jennifer Ong. Kumpulan HAPA ditubuhkan pada 1994 untuk menerbitkan penerbitan berkaitan hospitality, makanan dan juga minuman, pengembaraan untuk sektor pengembaraan. Antara segmen lain yang turut diceburi oleh HAPA adalah anugerah berkaitan sektor sama, pengurusan acara dan juga latihan dan perundingan. Dan juga kita juga bersama dengan Datuk Indra Naresh Mohan, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Trinidad Group dan juga Ahli Persatuan Perhotelan Malaysia. Datuk Indra adalah pemain dalam industri perhotelan dan juga gaya hidup serta mempunyai pengalaman yang panjang dalam industri perhotelan, perunding hospitality, pemilik dan juga operator Ramada Suites KLCC. Kita mulakan dengan Jennifer dulu. Saya teruskan dengan bahasa Inggeris. Jennifer, hi, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi.
Jennifer, maybe you can share with us before the spread of COVID-19, the industry players increased investments in anticipation of Visit Malaysia year 2020.
Right. I think, Malaysia has a great potential for tourism. We have so many things to offer, so many places to offer. Before the MCO, months before the MCO, the hospitality, F&B and tourism industry has already faced some decrease, in terms of revenue, in terms of tourist visits because of the consequences of COVID-19 in the other countries, particularly starting from China. So Now what's happening in the hospitality, F&B and tourism industry, and especially the F&B industry, it's really, really hard hit. Yeah, it's very devastating to the businesses and also to the employment sector of the totality of the industry. If we look at the latest news from the Marriott Hotel, for example, they've been asked to close all the hotels up to June. And there are many, many other hotels in Malaysia that has also taken that step to actually close up to June. And this has actually put off a lot of employment, either on unpaid leave or annual leave or some kind of form of decrease in terms of paying the outlay of salaries. Mm-hmm. And however, because of the unclear terms coming out from the government and also some relevant parties about salaries, about having to pay full salaries, that has also put a lot of uncertainties to the industry players.
Jennifer, briefly before we go to Dato' Indra Naresh Mohan, you mentioned unclear, but the government has announced many measures for the tourism industry. In terms of implementation, do you wish it's a bit more clearer, or what did you mean by unclear?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is to have clarity on the purpose of reliefs, on the purpose of the economic stimulus package. We are all very grateful that the government is doing progressively giving out reliefs and progressively announcing economic stimulus package for all of us. But what they are, what actually, I'm just reading some of these comments that's coming in from our members and our clients as well, and the industry players as well, that more clarity is needed on relief measures. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there appears to be a disconnect between what the authorities say and what the implementing agencies are doing. Mm-hmm. So if the government can be clear in terms of what are the actual or the exact ways of implementing whatever relief measures that has been announced by the government, and make that mandatory for banks, mandatory for landlords, mandatory for utilities providers, mandatory for tax departments, as well as what, to be clear on what exactly does employers need to do as far as salaries is concerned. Okay. And I think it would really, really help a lot of businesses, be it big or small, if the government can help cushion the impact of keeping staff on payroll, and but without having employers to pay the full salaries. And if the government could subsidize up to 80% of their salary, that will really help to ease the cash flow of all businesses, and it also helps them to sustain and to make sure that there will be no collapse of the industry after MCO is lifted. Okay,
Jennifer, we move to Dato' Indra Naresh Mohan. Dato', you are the owner and operator of the Ramadan Suites KLCC. Jennifer mentioned hard hit. How hard hit are you with regards to the spread of COVID-19 and the MCO right now?
Well, our occupancy has dropped from an average of about 70-odd%. Now we're down to like 10, 12%. And sometimes even 5% on a daily basis. So I would say 90% drop in the whole business.
Mm-hmm. And who are these occupants, this 10 to 12% currently?
Well, many of these occupants are foreigners who are stranded, waiting to get their flights out. Some people who have nowhere else to go. So the government allows us to house tourists, foreigners that are stuck in the country. We're not allowed to house any locals, Malaysians, because of the movement order, but foreigners are allowed.
And Dato', how are you coping with the MCO? Do you have to lay off employees? How are you coping? What is this new norm for when it comes to your operations?
Yeah, well, we haven't gone to the stage of talking about layoffs at the moment. We're still trying to engage the government to help us maintain and retain. I think that's the long-term goal we need to achieve, because many of these staff are trained, they're qualified, they've been with us for some time. It'd be very sad to see them go or lay off. So we're looking at retaining them. We're seeing how we can maybe upskill them, train them. But it is taking a very major toll on the hotel and its finances. So we're looking forward to the government's intervention and help as to how we can maintain and retain them over the long term, because obviously this shutdown is not generating any revenue or income that's significant enough to cover all these costs. Obviously, we look forward to some kind of package that the government can shell out to help these people.
But what do you make of the stimulus package that was announced in February? Do you see it being implemented right now, especially when hotel operators are really needing that to sustain that cash flow?
To be honest, at the moment, there's nothing going on in terms of... We have received some notices, but for example, Tenaga National, they announced there will be a 15% discount, but so far, nothing's been heard, no official notification from Tenaga National. And I think the stimulus package that they announced in February was meant to be just as a beginning until they assess the real impact of this COVID-19 matter. And I believe the government is working very hard, but they need to move a little bit faster because people are anxious, especially staff-related matters. It's a very, very pressing issue right now. We're getting a lot of complaints. A lot of our staff are confused. They see all kinds of media going all over the place, and they're starting to fight with the employers, saying you're not allowed to give us, put us on leave, and so on and so forth. But so there are big issues out there which the government needs to address urgently.
You have a very long experience when it comes to in the hospitality industry. Have you seen anything like this, and what's the silver lining that you look forward to at the end of this situation that we're in right now?
Well, honestly, I've never seen anything like this. Even the 97 crash was never to this magnitude. Neither the 2008 crisis and so on and so forth. But yeah, this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. That's why everybody needs to pull together. The only way we're going to survive this is everybody pull together, share their resources. Everybody needs to start thinking about the economy and the whole business at large. Because if this kind of business starts to collapse, then we are in serious trouble in the long haul, because employment will be affected, crime will rise, there'll be a lot of desperate people out there. So we need to contain this and control this as much as possible, as fast as possible.
Do you foresee any low-hanging fruits, and what do you hope that the government will announce in this next stimulus package to be announced soon? Briefly.
Well, very quickly, I would say we need to address the staff issues. They need to maybe waive the EPF contributions by the employers. They need to look at how to lessen the burden on the individual. So by lessening the individual burden, then the expectation from the employer will also go down, and that will help the overall cash flow of the hotel. That's very, very key.
And Dato', maybe one more question before we conclude this interview. Are you optimistic moving forward?
Well, I'm an optimist by nature.
There is that pent-up demand for local tourism, hopefully after the end of all this. Are you optimistic with probably that?
Well, absolutely. I think in the second half of the year, we'll see a big wave. Obviously, people who are stuck at home now will definitely want to go out to the resorts, to the hotels, and relax and enjoy. Probably after you have to keep in mind that although the COVID-19 restricted movement is until 14th of April, but very quickly, 10 days later, is Ramadan. So this is going to be a very quiet Ramadan, unlike any other in the past. So you're only going to start seeing movement during Raya and after Raya.
Thank you very much, Dato'. Itu tadi Dato' Indra Naresh Mohan, Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif Trinidad Group dan juga Ahli Persatuan Perhotelan Malaysia. Dato' Indra adalah juga pemain dalam industri perhotelan dan juga gaya hidup. Kita akan berehat seketika. Selepas ini kita masih lagi bersama dengan Jennifer dan juga seseorang daripada segmen restoran. Kita akan berehat seketika, kembali selepas ini.